piece of technology, whether it is a new car, a new computer, or your Kindle ebook reader, there is one pressing question to be answered. Who's the boss? Who masters whom? Does the device control you, or are you in control of your device? And that's why, before we get into any other topic, let's make sure you are completely in charge. You're probably already familiar with the standard reading functions of your Kindle, and for that reason, I will show you a few tricks that go beyond that and will enhance your reading experience. In comparison to many other electronic devices, I appreciate the Kindle Paperwhite to be very low maintenance. And if there's ever a freeze problem or the e-reader is responding very slowly, most of the time the solution is simple. So if an ebook won't open or stops responding, there are two steps you can take. From any screen, go to Settings, then to All Settings. Open the context menu with the three dots on the top right and tap Restart. The Kindle will reboot and usually the problem is solved. You might know the solution from your Wi-Fi router or your PC. And in case it doesn't react at all and you can't navigate to the restart function, you have to help yourself with a hard restart. Hold down the power button for a few seconds until the power pop-up shows up. There you have the option to restart the device. If you don't get that message, you need an even harder restart. So press the power button even longer until the Kindle goes blank and restarts. In some rare cases, the problem won't go away, and if it recurs with the same book, the book file might be corrupted. In that case, remove the book from the e-reader. If you bought it from Amazon, you can download it again anytime from the cloud view of your library. In case you got the book from somewhere else, you might want to make a backup before you remove it. The easiest way to remove an item from your Paperwhite is by long tapping the book in the library view. The pop-up shows you the option to remove from the device. If this doesn't work, you can still try two other ways. One is to go to your library online and delete the book there. We will explain later how this works. The second way is connect the Kindle to your computer via USB. The Kindle will be displayed like an external hard drive. Navigate to Documents, Downloads, and then Items. There you will find a file with the title of your book plus a folder with the same title that contains book content. Delete both and then eject your Kindle from your computer. You might have to restart it again to see if it works now. In case you encounter any further problems, I recommend you to go to amazonforum.com and pick the Kindle forum and search for an answer there. I'm pretty sure you will find help at one place or another. And if this doesn't help, let's try to figure out a solution together. Just send us an email to help@3books.com and we will see what we can do for you. The longevity of a full battery is one of the great advantages of devices with e-paper. The monochromatic technology needs much less energy than a color HD screen on your smartphone or your tablet. As soon as you flip to a new page, the display is basically static, meaning it only needed energy to display new content. Now the particles of the e-paper are in place and just sit there. That's why e-readers don't need as much energy as devices with active screens. Still, it can be annoying if you have to recharge too quickly, especially when you're traveling, have a lot of time to read, and there usually isn't a power plug in the sand on the beach right next to your air mattress. If you make the following adjustments, you can increase your Kindle's battery life to the max. Use the airplane mode to turn off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. If you don't need to download anything or use the browser, then there's no need to have the wireless connections on. This will save a lot of energy. Just note, in case you take turns reading on the Kindle but also on a Kindle app on your smartphone or tablet, you have to remember to turn on Wi-Fi from time to time so your Kindle can automatically synchronize the reading progress to the other device. Tip number 2. Turn off the front light or minimize brightness. Many people are not aware that the light and brightness features usually use the most energy of your device. Don't forget to turn it off or adjust the brightness to your current need. Tip number 3. Turn off auto brightness. This feature automatically adjusts the front light according to your current lighting environment. What seems very handy can actually become a problem. The light is turned up when the lighting is bright, and therefore it is better to adjust the setting manually. Tip number 4. Use the nightlight feature. When activated, the Kindle gradually decreases screen brightness over time as your eyes adjust to the darkness. Tip number 5. Use smaller font sizes, less spacing, and smaller borders. The more text fits on a page, the less page turns are necessary. This results in longer battery life, as I explained in the beginning. Number 6. Adjust the page refresh settings. The Paperwhite allows you to turn off the page refresh settings. This means that less energy will be used if you turn a page. For full refresh, every single dot on the page will be cleared and the new page content displayed. If you turn this off, you might experience a little ghosting effect. The page seems to have a faint indication of the previous page and becomes less crisp over time. But try out for yourself and see whether you even recognize the difference. Applying these 6 tips, you will save a lot of battery power and don't have to worry about finding the next power socket all the time. Great feeling of freedom, isn't it? As you might remember, when Amazon released its first Kindle in 2007, the device looked a lot like a small computer because it had a full keyboard on it. It took until 2011, when the Kindle Touch was launched, that the first Kindle came with a touch screen, yet still had this one little home button on the bottom. But since the introduction of the Paperwhite, about 1 year later in 2012, the Paperwhite has always been touchscreen only. And over the years, the technology has gotten better and better. The Paperwhite 2020 is a device with an excellent touchscreen. Unlike your smartphone, the Kindle Paperwhite is set up with 3 different zones. The top zone, which covers the toolbars. The central zone, which is the largest zone and covers the middle of the screen. A quick tap or swipe here moves you to the next page. And the left zone, which is quite long but narrow. A tap here moves you to the previous page. As the zone is so small, your tap has to be more precise. Remembering this breakup of the screen will make navigation easier in general. And by the way, your swipes can be very short, so you don't have to move your hands while reading. There are 2 special forms of finger navigation that you should definitely know, because it can improve your reading experience. One is long tapping. Depending on where you're at the moment, a long tap or hold offers you a special action. When you long tap within a book, a special menu is opened that allows you to view the definition of a word. In a list of books on the home screen, when you long tap one of the books, you can read its description or add it to a collection. Also in the home screen, long tapping on an ebook sample allows you to buy a book, read its description, or delete it from the reader. The other special finger trick is pinching and unpinching. It took me a while to learn about this one. The pinch motion allows you to increase or decrease the font size of the current text. This is great because you don't have to go to the letter menu to reset the size. It saves you a few steps through the menu. It is a bit tricky though. You have to move your finger slowly, otherwise you will experience a delay between your finger motions and the change of the text size. As we're talking about finger tricks on the Kindle Paperwhite, there's another stunt I want to show you. Imagine there's a quote or a graphic in a book or document you're reading that you would like to keep for yourself or share it with friends or colleagues. You have 3 ways to do that. You can take a picture with your smartphone, you can copy it by writing it down, or you can take a screenshot. It is very easy actually. Turn to the content you want to capture. Long tap on 2 opposing corners of the screen simultaneously. Then the screen will flash shortly and save the screenshot to the memory of your Kindle. To access it again, connect the Kindle with your computer via USB cord and drag it over and save the image. In the best case, somewhere where you will find it again. And now you can use it like any other image on your computer. In the American English Language Edition, the Kindle Paperwhite comes with a default dictionary, which is the new Oxford American Dictionary. On other English language editions, the Oxford Dictionary of English is available. If you change the language of your Kindle, it automatically provides a standard dictionary in the language chosen. Depending on the region in the world where you bought your device, different language dictionaries are available. If you want to find out which ones are available to you, you can see the dictionaries in the cloud view of the Paperwhite. It is a bit hidden, but I will show you how to find it. Turn on the View Library. Choose All. Here you navigate to the last page of your item list. You will see the folder Dictionaries. Open it and find all dictionaries that are available. Pick those you like and download them to your device. Then you can change the default dictionary as follows. Tap Menu, Settings. Language and Dictionaries, and then Dictionaries. Pick the language you want to edit. In our case it is English, and a list of available dictionaries will appear. Change the default dictionary by tapping the radio button on the right. With OK, you confirm the change of the default dictionary and can now use it. More details on the use of dictionaries will be explained in the chapter Learn a Language. There are different purposes for using the Kindle Paperwhite. You will certainly find many titles in the fiction section which are meant for leisure and relaxation. But if you like, you can also use your Paperwhite to increase your productivity for work, school, or private life. Here are a few tips that can really help you save time studying documents and collect content in your free Kindle cloud. This might be my absolute favorite power feature of the Kindle Paperwhite and any other Kindle. The Highlights and Notes feature. Why this one? At first it doesn't sound all too spectacular, doesn't it? Well, the real power is not in the single application of the feature, but when applied for content that is really important and stands out to you personally. It produces a miracle while finishing a document. When you're finished reading and highlighting, you will have your own personal excerpt of what you have read, with everything that matters to you and not somebody else. The popularity of services like Blinkist, Get Abstract, and other book summarizing services is constantly rising. And I actually like those a lot. But your personal summary is much more valuable to you and maybe also to others you want to share it with. Enough rapture on the feature. Here's how it actually works. When you're in the book, long press the sentence you want to highlight or make a note to. When the underlining appears, move your finger along the page until the end of the passage. Then let go. You can also use the two handles that show up after long pressing and extend your selection forward or backward within the text. If you want to adjust the selection, just tap next to the text and the handles will appear again. To delete the selection, tap Delete in the pop-up. To get access to your notes, open the context menu on the right side of the top menu and tap Notes. At the bottom of the document, you will find the Export Notes button. The Kindle will now send an email to the email address that is connected to your Amazon account. Open the email and you will find your highlights and notes as a Word and PDF document. For a long time, publishers and authors were concerned about copyright infringements, but it proves to be very valuable to everyone. The amount of text you can export is limited though. It has been reported that some books don't offer the export function at all. No problem, there's a workaround for that case too. You find the notes in the Documents folder on your Kindle. So just connect the Kindle via USB to your computer, find the folder and copy or open the myclippings.txt document. Now you have your own summary. As I've loved this function for many years, I'm now a proud owner of my own little short reads library that I copied into Evernote. The notebook is called My Books and it contains all summaries I've made over the years. From time to time I go back and look at certain topics I studied to get the summary of the respective document. A really great feature for study, research or work. Enjoy it. A minute ago, we sent an email to the Kindle from our email address. But you can do this the other way around too. Imagine you have a longer document that you don't want to print out or read on your computer or smartphone. You can send it to your Kindle. Your device's personal email address makes it possible. You didn't even know it had one? Don't worry, many people don't know this. To find out what it is, go to Settings, All Settings, choose your account, and there on the bottom you will find your Send to Kindle email. Now before you can start sending, you have to give your personal email a clearance, so it is recognized by the Amazon Cloud as a sender that actually has the permission to send. You don't want to be spammed on your ebook reader, right? Your regular mail inbox is enough. Go to amazon.com/myk and log in if you have to. There, go to Preferences, scroll down to Personal Document Settings. Here you find the headline Approved Personal Document Email List. Add your mail address here. And as you're here, you can also add mail addresses of friends or colleagues whom you want to allow to send files to your Kindle. You can send up to 25 attachments in one email and up to a total size of 50 megabytes. If you want to send more than 50 megabytes, you can compress your documents into a zip file. The Amazon Cloud Conversion Service automatically opens the zip files and converts the contained documents to the Kindle format. So just attach the files to the mail you send to the Kindle mail address. If you're sending a PDF file and would like to take advantage of features on the Kindle Paperwhite such as changing font size and making notes, convert the file to Kindle format by typing "convert" in the subject line of your message. In case you want to read an unsupported file type on your Paperwhite, you can use free software or apps to convert the documents into a supported format. The best known tool for this is Calibre eBook, a free tool available for PC or Mac, which can convert documents into a myriad of formats. All the documents you send to the Kindle Cloud are automatically saved in your Kindle library online. You have up to 5 gigabytes of storage space available for your documents. As we usually have to pay for every gig of storage online, this is a nice feature by Amazon that they don't charge yet. Just one word of caution. Transferring files while connected with Wi-Fi is free. If you own a Kindle with 3G, you're responsible for any charges via WhisperNet to your device. Another way to send content to your Kindle is the Send to Kindle tool that Amazon offers. It even allows you to send web content as you're browsing through the internet. To get more information on this tool, go to amazon.com/send-to-Kindle. You can choose between browser extensions for Google Chrome, desktop software for your PC or Mac, or an app to send content from your Android device. It is really intuitive to use. For example, if you install the tool on your PC, you have 3 ways of sending files. Open the Windows Explorer, choose the document you want to send, then right-click to open the context menu. Here you can choose the Send to Kindle option. Then the dialog of the tool will open. If you downloaded the tool from Amazon while you were logged into your Amazon account, the software will already be connected with your account. This way, all your available devices will be displayed. You can choose where to send the file to and whether it should be archived in your Kindle library in the cloud. This way, it will be available for download in the future to all your devices. There's one special case: sending a PDF file. If you want it converted to the Kindle format so you can browse it like a regular Kindle book, change the setting in the Options dialog. The second way to send the file is from your printer dialog. Let's say you're working in Microsoft Word and want to send that document to your Kindle. Just open your print dialog and you will see the Send to Kindle plugin show up as a regular printer. Print to e-paper, so to speak. The third way is opening the application on your computer and sending the document via drag and drop into the drop space of the application. Really handy. Wondering about sending from an iOS device? Amazon doesn't offer an extra Send to Kindle app for iOS, but that's no hindrance. If you download the iOS Kindle Reading app, you will automatically have the feature installed on your device. You can use the iOS Share function and choose the Kindle logo. Press Send and you're all set. We have mentioned the My Kindle area on Amazon.com a few times already now. Time to have a closer look at how you can manage your content and devices to be most productive. You find it either by entering amazon.com/myk in the browser or from the account menu at your content and devices. If you use the Kindle in a country other than the US, log into your local Amazon website and add /myk to the URL. The 4 major sections here are content, devices, preferences, and privacy settings. Let's look at the content section first. Here you will find some very valuable functions that your Kindle device or apps don't offer. In case you have privacy critical content that you want to get rid of, here's your solution. You can permanently remove content from your library. It will be deleted from your devices and will not show up anywhere anymore. You can also clear the information about the furthest page read. Let's say in case you read 75% of your textbook, but you want to go back to 25% to read it again. Under Devices, you have an overview of all your e-readers, iOS and Android devices that have the Kindle app installed. Here you have to turn if you want to give away your Kindle to somebody else and make sure the person will be able to connect the e-reader with his or her account. If you deregister the device and then reset it to factory defaults, you can make sure it is free from your content and any sort of data. For more personalization, you can also edit and customize the email address of the Kindle if you like. Let's look at the Preferences section. What we haven't looked at yet is the possibility to create a family library with your account. As there are different options for managing your family account. For example, make sure you're in control of your teen spendings on Amazon. One is the possibility to share your digital content with one other person. This is really interesting if you want to share your library with your partner, one of your kids, or a friend with an Amazon account. Here you can set up your preferences. As we are talking about family, Napoleon Bonaparte, the famous French emperor and conqueror who ruled over large parts of continental Europe and many colonies in North and South America, Africa and Asia, once said, "Show me a family of readers, and I will show you the people who move the world." He was definitely one of them, an avid reader from childhood on. Reading helps us gain knowledge, relaxes us and reduces stress, stimulates and strengthens our brain, and even makes us better persons, as a 2014 study by the University of Toronto shows. Reading can positively affect our personality due to the way that it broadens our perspective, and as a result helps us have more empathy for the people around us. You got an ebook reader already? Probably also got some good books? Here are a few more ways the Kindle Paperwhite can make you even smarter and maybe even a little bit of a better person. The X-ray feature might be one that you have already spotted in the menu of the navigation when you're in a book, but maybe you have no idea what it is for. Don't worry, the Kindle won't send out any hurtful rays through your body. X-ray screens the content of the book you're reading, so dare to try it out. X-ray is especially useful when you read a fiction book with many characters or locations, like The Lord of the Rings, for example. Maybe you're like me and keep getting confused about one or the other person. In this case, you can use X-ray to look up all the mentions of that character or location that is mentioned. But it also works well with non-fiction books. Maybe there are terms in a textbook, a business title or self-help book that keep coming up. X-ray helps you to find all the locations in the book where it is used, but often it also gives you a Wikipedia explanation for the word. This way you don't have to turn on your smartphone or ask Dr. Google. You have access to all the needed information right on your Kindle. It is important to mention that it is up to the publisher of a book whether it offers the X-ray function or not. So in case you're wondering why some books have it and some don't, there's nothing wrong with you or your device. It's just not available. Check it out. It can be a great asset for learning. And if then you combine it with the highlight feature and have it as a part of your clippings to be able to go back to it in your book excerpt, you will be unstoppable. Wordwise is another feature that helps you understand content better. With Wordwise, you can see simple definitions and synonyms displayed in line above more difficult words while you read. Unlike with X-ray, you don't even have to take action to look it up. As soon as you have activated the setting, it will display explanations until you turn it off again. To turn on Wordwise within a book, go to the Reading options, More, pick Wordwise. In addition to activating and deactivating the setting, this menu also allows you to choose whether you want to see only the most probable hint or a list of possible meanings. I would recommend for you to try out displaying one hint first. In my experience, most of the time, this is enough to grasp the meaning of the expression. This feature can also be helpful when you read a book in a foreign language. Many times, the hints help to understand an unknown word. And be aware that this function will use extra power from your battery as the hints have to be loaded plus line spacing grows. Learning a new language has become a very digital endeavor. There are a lot of great apps and programs around that are very user-friendly and even great fun to use. This tip is not at all meant to replace any language learning method you have used or are planning to use in the future. The Kindle Paperwhite can be a great support though when learning a language, for the following reasons. You can choose your own reading material according to your level of skill and according to your interests. In case you visit a language school or a class at college, you might have prescribed literature, which isn't always too interesting. If you want to learn French and you're still at an early stage, you can get some French children's books or easy-to-read novels. Whether it might be fantasy, a thriller, science fiction, or romance, or a newspaper or magazine from the Kindle newsstand. Second, any word you don't know, you can look up using the translation function of the Kindle. You don't need the Oxford Advanced Dictionary next to your bed. And third, all the words you looked up will be available within the so-called vocabulary builder, where you can then study them. What are the steps to getting ready? Go to the Kindle Store or some other source for ebooks and pick your favorite book, magazine, or newspaper from the Kindle newsstand. Make sure to get the right dictionary installed. The standard dictionary on your Paperwhite is a monolingual one, English explanations for English words. Depending on the language you want to learn, get a bilingual dictionary like French-English from the Kindle Store. There are many different products available. After you bought and downloaded the dictionary, you need to make it to your Kindle's default dictionary in order to use it while you're reading. How to do that, we explained in Master Your Device. Now you're ready to start reading. As soon as the first word you don't know shows up, I would recommend you to try to figure out first from the context what it could mean. And then to double check, or in case you have no clue, long tap the word and look it up in the dictionary. As you know the meaning of the word now, read the whole sentence again. Maybe even speak it out loud to practice speaking the word. And now comes the Paperwhite's killer feature. All the words you looked up are collected in the vocabulary builder. You can find it from your home screen in the context menu with the 3 dots. The vocabulary builder offers 2 views. Either all the words from all books or the words from selected books. You can use this table now as a quiz. Try to remember the meaning of a word, then tap the word to confirm. If you were right, you can delete it from the list or check it as mastered to keep it in the list for a later review. In case you want to keep practicing the word, just leave the dialog and try again next time. You can also use the flashcard function and swipe through the list with translation to memorize the vocabulary. Unfortunately, the feature isn't available yet for Android or iOS. That way you could practice with the vocabulary builder even if you don't have your Kindle with you. And now, a little challenge at the end of this tip. What about changing your Kindle's device language to the language you want to learn? That could be quite an experience to navigate the device in a foreign language. Could that be an option? Enough of being productive, increasing your knowledge and learning new languages. Let's have some fun with our device. According to the latest statistics in 2019, every person in the world spent on average more than 2 hours surfing on the web, only with mobile devices. Almost 40 minutes on top of that, we surf on our desktop computer. Some of this time is used for work and study, but a lot of it is just for fun. Time to have a look at the browser that is part of the operating system, plus some other ideas for having fun with your Paperwhite. Every Kindle has a browser that makes it possible to use the available Wi-Fi or 3G connection, in case you have a Kindle with 3G, to surf the internet. The browser has been labeled as experimental by Amazon for many years now. The company doesn't seem too interested in creating a great browsing experience to us Kindle users. Sure, it could distract us from buying content in their store. As a result, it is still very slow and cannot read all types of websites, depending on which code is used. There's one use case though, that to me makes a lot of sense and uses the Kindle's strength of making reading a great experience. I'm talking about surfing news pages which are optimized for mobile devices or small bandwidth wherever broadband is not available. For example, CNN is one of the websites that offers a text-only news site. The URL is light.cnn.com. Upon opening the site, you get a very easy to read overview page with all current articles. The articles can be opened by tapping the headline. In the article view, then open the context menu and choose article mode. Now you can enjoy an excellent reading experience without any distraction. No advertising, no surveys, no videos interrupting your reading. This is digital minimalism at its best. There are a few more websites that offer this kind of text-only view. But I want to show you a trick now that allows you to create a minimalistic view of many websites you like. Open your browser and go to kinstant.com. This website provides a collection of links to accessible websites that can be read in the Paperwhite browser, like BBC, the New York Times, Sports Illustrated, and others. It also has an additional service. You can enter any URL in one of the form fields and render it for mobile use. The service that is behind the script is provided by Google and is called Google Weblight. It's originally designed for website developers who want to make sure their users have a great surfing experience even with a slow internet connection. So they provide this mobile optimized version of this site. Why not use the service for own purposes on the Kindle browser? I would suggest you check the sites you like and see if they will work with Google Weblight. And then you bookmark the sites here in the Kindle browser and use them anytime you want to. And then you're actually using a feature that both Amazon and Google didn't want you to know about. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Now all of us can feel a little bit like hackers. Enjoy the daily news. Now here comes the good news for all comic fans among you. In 2014, Amazon acquired the digital comic platform Comixology. Comixology has a catalog of about 25,000 comic books, graphic novels, and mangas. It offers dedicated reading apps for Android, iOS, and Kindle Fire. But you can also read the comics on your Kindle. Yes, I know, the Kindle Paperwhite screen is only monochrome and doesn't display any colors. I'm sure there are some comics that don't make too much sense without color. But hey, Batman in Gotham City? Who needs color for that? I really love it actually. It has a feeling of Sin City. Remember the film noir movie with Bruce Willis and Jessica Alba and Mickey Rourke? Too cool. Opening a comic on your Kindle, you will see a nice feature that Amazon has developed for reading comics. It is the panel view. Each frame of the comic book page is full screen on your Kindle. It is really easy to use. You don't have to do much more than double tap on the first panel in the book. Then scroll forward as you're used to it by swiping or tapping on the margin. With every new page, you will first get an overview of the whole page without changing anything. On the next tap, the Kindle zooms into the first panel and then opens one after another. At first, it is a bit of an unusual experience reading a comic book on an e-reader. But if the story is good, after a while you can really get into it. You will find a lot of reading material if you go to the Kindle Store, open all categories, and browse through comics and mangas. If you're a Prime member, also have a look at your Prime reading section. My German subscription includes a number of free comics by Marvel, DC, and a few other publishers. Now, have fun reading and may the Force be with you. Too funny, it actually is May the 4th today as we're recording this. Reading on the Kindle Paperwhite has a lot of advantages in comparison to the good old paper book, especially with thick books. It always takes two hands to work yourself through the plot. In comparison, you can hold your Kindle comfortably in one hand and tap to go forward. But if you're like me and you read a lot also at night in bed, after a while even this handy device gets heavy. There are a few ways to improve the physical reading experience for your hand, arm, shoulder and neck as well. Scrolling through the Amazon store with accessories for your Kindle, there are many different approaches. But I'm a fan of simple and versatile solutions. That's why my recommendation is to use a pop socket, like some people enjoy having them on their smartphones as well. You attach them in the most comfortable position and go. But if you want your Kindle to stay slim and portable, you can use straps like these and attach them to the back of your device. Or you get the funny device that I found in a Kindle forum, a remotely controlled Kindle page turner. There is no limit to people's creativity. Maybe you enjoy reading as a private hobby, a time just for yourself to unwind, to have some solitude and retreat from the world. Reading is often seen as an isolated and isolating activity. But the renaissance of book clubs and reading circles in the US and Europe and other parts of the world show, on the other hand, that reading can be a very social and interactive happening. There are several ways you can use your Kindle Paperwhite to socialize and add to your relationships. Still, you don't have to. But if you would like to socialize a bit more, let's have a look at how you can do that. I really enjoy discussing social, political, or philosophical ideas. Many times reading a book, I get so excited about its content that I can't help but share about it with my family, friends, and colleagues. Sometimes these conversations end with a question whether I could lend them the book so they could read it as well. How good that it is no hindrance that it usually is a Kindle ebook that I'm talking about. Amazon offers the lending option for this purpose in the US and some other countries. You can share books for up to 14 days. Here's how you do it. Go to the Kindle Store and search for the title you would like to loan. There will be a banner with the information that you own this title already. Click the Actions button and there select Loan this title. In the form opening, enter your friend's email address, enter a message if you like, and send. That's it already. Alternatively, you can perform the same action from the Manage Your Content and Devices section in your Amazon account settings. During the time you loan it, you can't read it yourself, unfortunately. But if your friend wants to return the book early, he can go and delete it from his account in this section. Good thing is that you will definitely get the book back. Nobody will forget about it. In Germany, this feature is limited to the circle of your family. That means if you really want to use the feature, you can still do it by adding a friend to your family library for a while. Might be the same in your country. And in case you don't have anybody yet to share books with, join an online community like Booklending.com or Lendle.com. These platforms make use of the Kindle lending function and bring together ebook owners. It's a giving and taking. That's why you should list the Kindle ebooks that you own and are willing to share. In the book stats, you can see how many people own it and how many copies are currently available for lending. As soon as you have submitted your own books, you can start requesting books from others. Booklending.com is limited to US residents, but Lendle.com doesn't have any geographic restriction. Another option are Kindle lending groups on Facebook. Just go there and search for Kindle lending and you will find groups that offer book lending, maybe even in your language and your original country. In case you are just looking for a group to discuss what you're reading, to have some exchange and get to know new people, Facebook is also a good place to go and search for a book club. Most of these groups require registration to make sure new members don't just come in to sell anything. But usually it's very easy to join and can be great fun. We have looked at the notes and highlights function already and learned how you can have your personal summary, your condensed version, full with insights from a book for your own or personal use. There are two ways to share those insights, if you like, with your friends or even the broader public. The first way is very easy. Highlight the passage you would like to share with someone you know. Choose the share function on the highlight. This will open an email form that allows you to insert the mail address of your friend. You can change the subject and enter a message. The recipient will now receive an email that looks like this. The next way is becoming a member with Goodreads.com. Goodreads is the world's largest site for readers and book recommendations. It has been around since 2007 and has over 90 million members worldwide. On Goodreads, you can see which books your friends are reading. You can also track the books you're reading, have read, and want to read. If not sure what to read next, check out their personalized book recommendations. Find out if a book is a good fit for you from the community's reviews. Some small print for this one. Unfortunately, this advice will work only if you're an Amazon customer in the US, UK, Ireland, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, or India. In case your Amazon account is not in one of these countries, you can still use Goodreads, but it will not be connected with your Kindle. Feel free to jump to the next chapter if you like, or take the 3 minutes to follow how Goodreads.com works in connection with your Kindle. To share your insights with your friends or the whole world, sign in to Goodreads.com and go to the account settings page. There go to apps. In the Amazon section, you can connect the account. Set the book to currently reading or read on a Goodreads.com shelf. You can also add it to a shelf directly from the Kindle. In a list of books on the home screen, when you long tap the book, then go to the context menu. Then sign in to Goodreads.com, go to My Books, Kindle Notes and Highlights, under your reading activity. Click on the book you want to share from. Now you can share any of your notes and highlights by switching them to visible. Add your own note before you share it, if you like. Don't forget the privacy settings here and make sure what happens on Goodreads stays on Goodreads. talking about privacy protection now. You should apply the same safety rules to the use of your Kindle that you apply to your other mobile digital devices to keep private information out of the hands of the wrong people. Meaning that if you take your Kindle Paperwhite out of your house, make sure that it is protected in case you lose it or someone is a bit too interested in your personal life. Same rule for home if you have content on the e-reader that is not meant for your kids or who else lives with you. The most basic security feature to use on your Amazon Paperwhite is setting a password. The password will be requested on the start screen anytime you or someone else will turn on the device. Go to Settings, then All Settings, Device Options, and choose Device Passcode. Now you use the number pad and enter a passcode. Amazon would allow as little as only 1 digit for your passcode, but that really doesn't make any sense. I would recommend you to use at least 4 to 5 digits. And in the best case, those will not be the world's #1 passcode, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even your toddler can hack that one. Confirm it on the second line and tap OK. That's it already. To test it, turn off your Kindle and turn it back on again. All your ebooks and all other kinds of documents you have on your Kindle are ultimately also stored in the Amazon cloud. There might be several occasions when you don't want certain content to remain anywhere, not even in the cloud. One such occasion could be when you want to give your device to a family member or a friend without deregistering the Kindle from your Amazon account. Because as soon as you deregister the device, the content connected to your Amazon account will not be available anymore on the Kindle. To delete any content for good, go to the My Kindle area on your Amazon website. For the US, you can enter amazon.com/myk. For Germany, it is amazon.de/myk. Same logic for any other country. In the content section, find the content you want to delete, then open the Actions menu and click Delete. You will be informed that the item will be completely deleted and then it is really gone. Same use case as with deleting content from the cloud. Imagine you're planning to give your device to a family member or friend for a while. They will not only see which content is on your device or in your cloud library, they will also get an impression which kind of content you own and are looking for in the Kindle Store by the customized recommendations Amazon gives you. You might know that problem from Netflix or some other service. There might be some titles that you don't want to show up in your movie list or in recommendations. The Kindle allows you to turn off these personalized and customized recommendations. You find the setting if you go to Settings, then All Settings, the Advanced Options, and there it is, Privacy. Amazon calls this Use personal data collected by the device's operating system for marketing and product improvement. Same scheme as anywhere in the Amazon cosmos. The more they know about us, the better the marketing targeting works, the more we buy usually. You can disable the function here. It will not affect your ability to use the features of your device at all. Also, you will still receive marketing offers. They will just not fit your interests as much anymore, but your Kindle is safer now. Anytime you log into a Wi-Fi anywhere with your Kindle, the device will not only remember that wireless network for the next time around, it will also save the Wi-Fi passwords to the Amazon cloud. In case you use the Paperwhite at work, your employer might not be too happy about this fact. So you have the option to delete saved passwords. To do that, go to the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth section in the device settings. Choose Delete Wi-Fi Passwords and delete all passwords. Unfortunately, this setting is all or nothing. You can't pick single networks and delete their passwords. Delete them all or keep them all. So it makes sense to think about it for a moment before you hit the button. Or choose Wi-Fi networks, and if you're in the network that you don't want to use anymore in the future, pick it from the list and tap Forget. Earlier I showed you how you can use the Kindle browser effectively for reading news pages. Like any other internet browser, this one also stores your browsing history and cookies of the websites. By the history function, anybody using the e-reader can see which websites you visited. You can delete the history by opening the browser from the context menu from Home. When it is open, tap the Content menu again and pick Browser Settings. Here you get the options to clear the browsing history, cookies, JavaScript, and images. Unfortunately, again, it's either all or nothing. You cannot choose which websites to delete and which ones to keep in the history. Tapping Clear History will result in the immediate deletion of the data. No further warning or reassurance will show up, so be careful. Again, think for a moment if you need to delete it, and then decide whether to take action or not. The Kindle ebook store offers hundreds of thousands of ebooks. The exact number depends on the country you're located in. There's also a lot of reading material available for a few bucks. But this doesn't guarantee that you always find the kind of books you like. And if you read 3 or 4 or more books per month and have to pay the full price, the monthly bill can make you quite unhappy after a while. In this course, we also look at the option to borrow and lend books from friends or online communities. But in this chapter, you will get even more good tips on how to save lots of money over time. You might have recognized already that prices for ebooks are changing continuously due to season, marketing campaigns, and probably the weather also. Unless you're in Germany, we have a law that regulates book pricing. To avoid paying more than you have to, some smart people have come up with the service eReaderIQ.com. This service is available in the US, Canada, and the UK. If you're patient enough to wait for price drops, you can use the website service and track price drops of your favorite titles. Registration is the easiest I've seen in a long time. All you need to enter is your email address, then you're ready to go. In the price drop section, you can submit the book either by entering the ASIN unique book identifier or the URL of the store page. Then choose the price or price drop you're looking for and start tracking immediately. The website also allows you to see the pricing history of books which are part of the database. So go looking for any book and see how prices developed over time. Like this one here by James Scott Bell. It started off in the Kindle version at $2.99 and then was $3.99 for a while and is now down to 99 cents. You can also follow authors if you like and get informed via email if there's offers concerning this author. Or in case a book is now available as a Kindle version and you've anticipated that for a while. Check it out for yourself. It's a good way to save money on books and stay up to date on your favorite authors. Amazon has its own newsletter with special offers, which is called the Kindle Daily Deals newsletter. As the title says, it is sent out daily with offers that are reduced by up to 80% on a selection of romance, science fiction, non-fiction, and books for young readers. To sign up to it, look for Kindle Daily Deal on Amazon and switch on your newsletter subscription. If you're a member of Amazon Prime, you can find free titles to read in the Prime Reading section. But there's also a number of websites and apps out there that offer free ebooks for download and use on your Kindle. I have a favorite here because it's been around for a while, is easy and sleek to use, and offers the available books in many different formats. And that is manybooks.net. Manybooks is a source for over 25,000 free ebooks from different sources. They cooperate with the project Gutenberg Archives, which means you will be able to find a lot of classics on the site. Over time, Manybooks has also grown into a platform where self-publishing indie authors get the chance to introduce their works to a wider public and get some first readers and fans. The site itself is really beautifully designed and very easy to handle. In your account settings, you can choose the format you want to use. The standard Kindle format is AZW3. If you find the book you want to read, download the book to your computer. Now you have three ways to get the file to your e-reader. First, use the Send to Kindle software if you have it installed and drag and drop the file into the file picker. Second, send the file as an attachment to your Kindle email address. Or third, connect the Kindle to your computer and drag and drop the file into the Documents folder. Enjoy free reading. This tip is especially for our friends in the United States. If you want to read free ebooks or listen to free audiobooks, but you're more interested in the latest bestsellers and don't want to wait for decades until the authors are dead and their books became public domain, become a member of your local library. Public libraries not only lend paper books and CDs, they also lend ebooks and audiobooks, and many libraries already have an integration with Amazon and your Kindle. Kindle books are available at more than 11,000 libraries in the US. In the United States, the platform that many libraries use is Overdrive.com. If you are from another country, check out with your local library. They might use a local service for the same purpose. For example, in Germany, we have a similar service called Online. Here's what you need to lend ebooks from your public library. First, an active public library card and a library password, your PIN. This is the same password that you use to log into your library account. Second, your Amazon account with your email address and your password. Third, a Kindle e-reader like your Paperwhite or an Oasis or another one. Fourth, a computer, laptop or other device with internet access on which to find and borrow Kindle ebooks. Not sure whether your local library offers ebook lending? Then just go to overdrive.com, find a library, and search for your city or zip code. Let's use Austin, Texas as an example. Choose the library in your district. Then log in search the catalog for book you like. There click Borrow this title. You will be forwarded to the Amazon website and then use the drop-down menu to select your checkout period and tap Borrow. Next to the book, choose Read Now with Kindle. Amazon will load in a new tab or device. Find Get Library Book on the right. If you're already signed in, confirm the device to which you want the book delivered with the drop-down menu and then click Get Library Book. If you're not signed in, click Get Library Book and sign in to your Amazon account. Your Kindle book will be delivered the next time your device syncs, and you've just borrowed your first book from your library.